As runners, we tend to build our identity around being a runner. Our identities revolve around splits and running gear and training plans and social media posts about being a runner and Strava kudos. We become so entrenched in this identity that running becomes something that we must do at all costs. And that pushes this sport from being a hobby to something more like an obsession or even an addiction. And going on a run becomes an act of authenticity. And everyone today seems to be obsessed with authenticity. We list all of our identities in our social media profiles like husband, father, wife, runner, mountain biker, Republican, liberal, feminist. We wear certain clothes, we fly certain flags, we speak our truth. But what does it mean to actually be truly authentic? Because who are we being authentic to? Who are you anyways? Where are you? Are you your brain? Are you your body? Are you somewhere in between? Were you being the authentic to the real you 5 years ago? Or are you the real you now? Because if we change, which we all do, does it really matter that we're being true to who we are today? Understanding that we were different a week ago and we're going to be vastly different in 5 years? What are we being authentic to? The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre had an interesting take on all this. He would call today's obsession with identity and authenticity as bad faith. Sartre believes that we often take on identities in order to outsource our decision making so that we don't have to make the decisions. So bad faith would be when we assume an identity in order to avoid making the decisions for ourselves. As runners, we tell ourselves, I have to run today, I have to stick to my training plan, and I have to get my miles in. But we don't have to do anything. We're not compelled by anything besides our own personal narrative. But saying I have to run because I'm a runner is a lot easier than waking up every morning and freely choosing to run because we want to or because we find it meaningful. The illusion of necessity through identity shields us from the anxiety of being free to choose to do anything, to run or to bike or to swim or to lift weights or to sleep in. And for Sartre, all of this is because he believes that as humans we are condemned to be free, but we don't want to be free, and so we act in bad faith, giving away our freedom to our identities, and we mask it by calling it authenticity. Sartre isn't the only person out there that warns us against this obsession with identity and authenticity. Jesus taught that the person that loses his life will find it. Now, as far as I can tell, Christianity does confirm this idea that we do have an authentic self, but that authentic self, according to Jesus, is not a curated self. It is one of surrender. According to what Jesus taught, to be yourself is not to cling tighter to your ego, but to let it go and become selfless by forgiving freely and loving everyone, including your enemies. In Buddhism, it is completely aligned with Sartre because in Buddhism, there's the concept of anatta, which is the no self. In Buddhism, the self you're trying to be authentic to doesn't even exist. It's just a bundle of habits, memories, and perceptions constantly in flux. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu wrote that when you let go of who you are, you become who you might be. In Taoism, rigid ideas of who you think you are keep you from surrendering to the Tao. So while Sartre tends to see our obsession with identity and authenticity as an escape from freedom, these older traditions point to something maybe a little bit deeper. Maybe authenticity isn't about choosing who to be, but maybe authenticity is letting go of who we think we need to be or letting go of needing to be anything at all. Personally, I sit somewhere in the middle of all of that. I think authenticity and identity boil down to two things: perception and escape from freedom. When we talk about wanting to be authentic, I think it's more about wanting to be seen as authentic. And the thing is people want us to be predictable. And so our desire to be authentic is essentially caving into other people's expectations of what we should do and what we should be. And the pressures of freedom are real. The idea that no organization or religion or political party or identity that you take on should be making any decisions for you can seem overwhelming. But maybe that's just the price of true freedom. Or should I say, maybe that's the price of true authenticity. I think to live truly authentically is to acknowledge your total freedom and refuse to hide behind roles and excuses and identities. Real authenticity is heavy. It's not a marketing campaign. It's about showing up to every moment, surrendering to what is, and taking full responsibility for all of our choices without any pre-packaged identity to hide behind. And so bad faith running would be saying, I have to run today because I am a runner. And truly authentic running would be saying, I am choosing to run today because it matters to me today. And I am free to choose differently tomorrow. Because that's what it's all about, is waking up every day and choosing to do what we want to do because it matters to us today. What I'm talking about, and what I think Sartre was pointing to, what I think Jesus and Buddhism and what everyone was pointing to, is waking up every day, not as a runner, not as a Republican, not as a feminist, waking up each day and deciding what matters to you today. It's about sitting in the discomfort of understanding that you are free to choose differently at any point about anything. It's understanding that the real you is not found in your Strava profile or your Instagram profile. The real you is found somewhere between who you were yesterday and who you might be tomorrow. And in order to find that person, we have to let go of both. I don't know. I thought this was a really interesting concept, this concept of authenticity and identity and bad faith and Sartre and all of these things. So if this was interesting to you, or if it was thought-provoking at all, I hope you'll stick around, and I'll catch you in the next video. Alright, gear for today. As a reminder, I'm not affiliated with any of these brands. I don't care if you buy them, I just share what I run in for fun. I have an Ogden-made running hat. This hoodie is from like Fabletics or something like that. And then I have like a Solomon Tech long sleeve and another Tech short sleeve. Then I've got Lululemon shorts, Features running socks, and these are the Mount to Coast H1s. If you have any questions on the gear, let me know.